Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture Football.
And I'm Andrew Ballard from WhatCulture Football.
And we are here with all of today's football news. Don't forget, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Football, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily football podcasts when you are out and about. And we start today, Andrew, with some good news for Spurs fans.
Yes, not one, but possibly two transfers for Tottenham. One that seems, and both from Real Madrid. One that is kind of a done deal, if you believe Fabrizio Romano, who is obviously one of the most reliable sources on the planet. He's saying that Spurs have pretty much done a deal to sign Sergio Reguilon, the left back from Real Madrid, who was, of course, on loan last season at Sevilla, a Sevilla side that won the Europa League, dumped out Manchester United, dumped out Wolves. He looked very impressive himself. But he's 23-year-old left back. It's a fee in the region of 30 million euros has been agreed between Spurs and Real Madrid. And also, according to Romano, that there's already personal terms agreed with the player. And so it's just a case of signing the official documents, I guess a medical, and then this one is done. Manchester United were in for him, but the thing that put United off was that Real Madrid wanted, one, a buyback clause in there, and two, to be made of any interest in the player in the future. And United kind of just went, no, we're all right, mate. Whereas Spurs went, yeah, it's cool, whatever, we're good with that. So that is what the agreement that is part of the deal. So Real Madrid could buy him back in the future. But yeah, Tottenham needed a left back, really. Ben Davies, as a Welshman, a whole lot of love for Ben Davies. He had a horror back pass at the weekend, but forgetting that, a whole lot of love for Ben Davies. But their other left back, of course, Danny Rose, and that's a Danny Rose who's not been given a squad number this season. And there's talk of him maybe moving to Genoa, I think it was, over the weekend. So he seems out the exit door, but coming in the door is Sergio Reguilon at left back, which, I mean, it seems to be a great signing for Spurs. But that's not it. That's not all, because probably the bigger story on this, but one that's slightly less official right now, is Gareth Bale. Now, was it yesterday we were talking about Gareth Bale to Manchester United, or the day before? Either way, that's been a story. But now it looks like Spurs is a very viable option for Gareth Bale. Spurs clearly are keen on the player. Jose Mourinho's been keen on him since he was at Manchester United. And most interestingly in all of this is Jonathan Barnett, who is somebody I don't have that much time for. But Gareth Bale's agent has come out and said that the exact quote is, Gareth still loves Spurs. We are talking, as in Real Madrid and Spurs. It's where he wants to be. So Jonathan Barnett saying the right thing on behalf of Gareth Bale. That was Jonathan Barnett talking to BBC Sport Wales. And yeah, it looks like the Gareth Bale to Spurs stories have picked up some pace. At the moment, it looks like it would be a one-year loan deal with Spurs paying 50% of his wages. But there is the option that Gareth Bale is available to purchase for as little as 20 million euros. And again, Real Madrid will then subsidise half of his £600,000 a week wages. So, I mean, if you want to buy him, it's a great deal in terms of you're still going to pay 300 grand a week, but 20 million euro fee for a player that Spurs sold for 85 million pounds in 2013. And you look at what he's done since he left Spurs. It's 7 seasons at Real Madrid. He's won 4 Champions Leagues, 2 La Ligas, I think a couple of FIFA World Club Cups, 105 goals in 251 games for Real Madrid. One of Real Madrid's greatest all-time players of the modern era. Yeah, he doesn't get that respect right now from the Madristas. But maybe it's back off to, I was going to say White Hart Lane, but the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
I've always said that they should have put respect on his name the moment he scored that Copa del Rey goal against Barca, where he ran off the pitch. In fact, I think it's, you have those football clips you sort of watch on a sort of biannual basis. I think it's time. I think I need to go and watch this immediately after this, because I love that goal. And the fact he makes the keeper brilliant. But yeah, and also this reminds me of like when Apple try and sell me a new iPhone and they go, could be yours for just the low price of 300 grand a week. It's like, right. I mean, the 20 million for him is a good deal, but it's also 300 grand a week, and that's with Real Madrid offering to pay half his wages. But I have to say, I think this is the best for all parties. Obviously, Real Madrid want to get him off the books. Spurs really feel like they need a sort of flagship signing, and I, the left back that they're linked to, whose name, well, the reason you're doing that story is I can't pronounce his surname, basically.
And I probably butchered it as well. But
I think that's a great signing for them. And I think, we talked about it with United. I think United should focus all their energy on getting Jadon Sancho. I think Gareth Bale would really mess up that system. it's square pegs and round holes for that. But I think, for Spurs, for Bale, I think it works best for everyone. I would personally love to see him back in the Premier League. And we'll keep the fact that this is we're not properly come out, because as you said, it's sort of back channels through to BBC Sport Wales. But exciting times, and as we always say, we'll keep you posted on any developments with this.
Yeah, an interesting slight bit when I dug into this is that it's kind of rumours, but there was talk that possibly Daniel Levy had offered Dele Alli the other way to Real Madrid as a way to, because he seemingly had a bust up with Jose. I mean, Dele Alli was subbed at half-time in the game against Everton this past weekend, the opening game in the opening weekend of the Premier League. But, I mean, we've seen Jose take players off after, I think Eric Dyer was hooked after maybe 27 minutes or 30 minutes or something in maybe Jose's first game, and we saw him do that time and time again at Manchester United, a lot at Chelsea, where he takes players off early. And so maybe people are reading something into that isn't there. But from watching the All or Nothing documentary, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but there's a bit of truth there, where he constantly berates Dele Alli for being awful in training and being lazy. And I don't know, but maybe that's part. I don't know. There's just, to me, I think Gareth Bale back to the Premier League would be great.
So what you're saying with regards to this deal, it's kind of Ali or nothing. Let's move on to Jack Grealish. He signed a new 5-year deal with.
I think I might bail out of this video right now.
Good. He signed a new deal through to 2025. Significant pay rise, of course. Bigger buyout clause, of course, with Man United and Arsenal have been sniffing around Jack Grealish this summer. They did a sort of cheesy video that caused not only Grealish's name to trend, but Fabian Delph.
Yes.
Forget that time when he's like, I'm an Aston Villa player through and Man City are here. Bye.
Hi guys, Jack Grealish here. Delighted to say that I've signed a new deal with Aston Villa.
I'm not really surprised at this, and I still don't think this means Jack Grealish is going to be a Villa player for the next 5 years. But good work for Villa for getting this through and kind of dispelling any rumours for this season at least.
Yeah, and I think as well, if you look at some of the players they've brought in already, I mean, Ollie Watkins got his first goal last night for the club, which we'll get into in a bit, and some of the players are being linked with, and to then tie Jack Grealish down in theory for 5 years, that's or at least for this, to have him on board for this coming season, then it's positive for Villa, and it looks like Emi Martinez, the goalkeeper at Arsenal, that seems a done deal now. Who I thought I was so impressed with him when he came in towards the end of last season when Ben Leno was injured. But with the Jack Grealish one, it's a good deal. But what was interesting, I caught the post-match interview from Villa's game last night against Burton, and there was an interview with Jack Grealish, and he got man of the match, and it was kind of awkward because he had to
pick a great goal as well in that game.
He did. But it was awkward seeing it where they went, right, Jack, man of the match, you present yourself with a trophy, because obviously social distancing, so he just kind of picks up this thing, like, thanks. But it was fun where he's saying, like, yeah, well, there was some interest in me, and yeah, there were a few clubs sniffing around, and then they interviewed Dean Smith about 5 minutes afterwards, and he went, the thing is, nobody came in for him, nobody put a bid in for him. So maybe Grealish was hoping for that move to Manchester United or wherever, and I mean, the stories were Villa wanted 60, 70, 80 million. Those figures were being touted around, and you're just thinking, no, not in this market. To me, not for Jack Grealish. He's an exceptional footballer, but no. And I think maybe Villa had priced him out in the market, and it was a case of, all right, I'll sign then for now, and we'll see what happens. But no, on paper, it's a great signing for Villa, because I think if Grealish were to leave, I think the amount of money and the punt it would have taken on somebody to replace him that could have gone wrong, then yeah, it's a little, I mean, not quite to that level, but it's a bit like the Aubameyang situation at Arsenal, where I think that having him re-sign this year was the best bit of business they did, or they've done so far, because it's just, how do you replace that if he goes? And I think that would have been Villa's big conundrum with if Grealish went. But yeah, great news for Villa fans for now.
Yeah, great great to get that signing on the dotted line, and also the Martinez thing, I think it's really good. I heard a Villa fan on 5 Live the other day suggesting that they were signing Martinez to be a backup to Tom Heaton, who I still think is a great goalkeeper. And Chris sort of nearly exploded when he heard that. So that was. I heard that
exact call. I think it was the Saturday night or Sunday night up from 6:06, and it's like, a club like Aston Villa isn't spending £20 million on a goalkeeper to sit on the bench. And I love Tom Heaton, but he is still injured right now.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, from one Midlands club to another, to the Black Country, and West Bromwich Albion have made a signing in the last 24 hours. The free transfer of, yes, he is still playing football, Branislav Ivanovic, which to me, I think it's a good bit of business. It's only a 1-year contract. He is 36. He's been available since July when his contract at Zenit St. Petersburg expired. He'd had, I think it was 3.5 seasons there, won 2 Russian Premier Leagues, a Russian Cup. Of course, has already got 3 Premier League winners' medals to his name, and a Champions League medal, and 3 FA Cups, and a Europa League medal, and a League Cup medal from his time at Chelsea, where he spent, I think, 9 seasons there. So, I mean, he knows the Premier League. He's very, very experienced, and I think it's a shrewd bit of business from Slaven Bilic, where it's a team that's obviously back in the Premier League. They could do with someone steady at the back. I mean, you think at 36, Ivanovic was never the quickest of players, and I'm more intrigued to see whether they play him as a right back or if maybe he plays as a centre half, because I mean, he can play centre back, and that's where he's playing a lot for the national team. But for the most of his time at Chelsea, he was always a right back. He's a very attacking right back. But you're thinking, is he going to be making those sort of attacking runs from right back at 36? We'll see. But I think on a free transfer for a 1-year deal, it's a sensible signing.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. Like, on the one hand, it sort of stinks of signing that a club that knows they're going to be in a relegation dogfight and may well get relegated would make. On the other hand, like you say, look at the experience he brings to this club. He was a quality defender back in the day. I haven't kept that much tabs on him at Zenit St. Petersburg. I'll hold my hands up. But he could provide that sort of experience, knowledge, and talent to that back line that could be the difference maker. It'd be very, very interesting to see how he slots into that West Brom side. Yeah,
I think as well, one of the reasons it also makes sense for West Brom is I kind of get the feeling with West Brom and maybe Fulham that, given the circumstances right now and how things are in the world and in the world of football, it seems like those two in particular, the promoted clubs, aren't going out to spend massive amounts of money. And in a way, I mean, I'm sure they're not thinking about, well, we're going to get relegated, definitely. But I think maybe they're possibly thinking, well, yeah, we'll just take this hit this season. We'll go back down. We'll come back, because it's if you go out and spend a lot of money this summer and get relegated, I think just the world of football and the finances involved are completely skewed right now.
Was it bounce back ability, the coin that was turned all those years ago?
Yeah, Chris Kamara, bounce back ability. So I wouldn't be surprised if Fulham and West Brom maybe. I mean, not going into the season knowing they're going to get relegated, but it's not the worst thing in the world, and they're not going to spend a lot of money. And so in that case, Ivanovic on a free transfer for 1 year, sensible.
Taking 1 step back to potentially take 2 steps forward.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up with the EFL Cup results from last night. Undoubtedly, not the game to watch, but the highlights to take a look at. AFC Bournemouth, Crystal Palace. I don't know why I say AFC Bournemouth. Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace. It finished 0-0. 11-10 to Bournemouth on penalties. Asmir Begovic missed his penalty. That was saved by Wayne Hennessy, who had the chance to be the hero. He blazed the penalty over the bar, and then I think Milivojevic missed Palace's crucial penalty to hand the victory to Bournemouth. No real major upsets. West Ham beating Charlton Athletic 3-0. Watford scraping by Oxford United on penalties after drawing 1-1. We also had Villa, as we mentioned, leaving it late against Burton Albion, scoring 2 late goals to win that one 3-1. Newcastle, a bit of a hairy tie against Blackburn Rovers. They won 1-0. I think Blackburn had a shot cleared off the line, or a chance she cleared off the line late on. But yeah, EFL Cup, a tournament I completely forgot about happening, to be honest, yesterday, until all my Villa fans that I know on WhatsApp were getting very excited about Jack Grealish's goal last night. Also worth pointing out, Leyton Orient beat Plymouth Argyle to set up a match against Spurs, I believe, and Luton beat Reading 1-0 to set up a match against Manchester United. Some mouth-watering ties in the 4th round, I want to say.
Possibly. I like you. I'd kind of almost forgot the League Cup was just kicking in until I think it was Monday, and it's like, watch the 2 Premier League games on Monday night. It's like, wonder what games are tomorrow. It's like, there's a whole load of League Cup games, or Carabao Cup, as it is officially known these days. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Carabao. I've definitely never drank that.
No, I mean, I'm sure it's lovely, but it just looks radioactive. And that's just the that's just the can without even opening it. I'm sure it's really nice. But I just remember the Coca-Cola Cup, which is a far cooler name back in the day. Or the Worthington's Cup.
Worthington was the one, yeah.
Yeah, but no, now with the Carabao Cup. But yeah, I just saw parts of these games, so I can't go into too much detail on them, but I did see that penalty shootout, and Wales is number one, Wayne Hennessy having that moment, and then having essentially a Chris Waddle moment. It was just, and then David Brooks stepped up for Bournemouth, coolly scored, and then Begovic saved from Luka Milojevic. So that was Wayne Hennessy having that once in a lifetime moment to save the pen, and then it's all on you, mate. Just pop it in the corner. Do a Kevin Pressman, top bins.
It's not a goal kick, Wayne.
It was. It was just, God love him.
I don't know why I'm judging him. I've guaranteed in a pressure situation I'd miss a penalty, but still.
I've never missed one, and I was a penalty taker, but that was a long time ago, and now my knees don't work. And
I can't even take penalties on FIFA, so there we go. Go and watch it though. It's well worth checking out that penalty shot. I love a really drawn out one, a really tense one. Go and check that out. And let us know your thoughts on.
I seem to remember Joe Hart won I think it was the European Under-21s Championships. I'm sure it was Joe Hart against the Dutch, and he just put it in the top corner. But then I'm sure England lost that one, and it went to something stupid like nearly 20 penalties each. And I'd have to do some digging on that because I've slept since then. That was about 2005.
Poor Ivanovic, by the way, just must have thought, right, well, I've scored my penalty. That's my work done for the evening. Yeah. And then comes back around. Good.
Well, David Brooks was on form for that. David Brooks was prepared. Another Welsh international.
Good work. Let us know your thoughts on that and all today's news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to WhatCulture Football, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily football podcasts when you are out and about as well. You can also continue the conversation on Twitter at WhatCultureFC. Watch there. Follow both of us. You can follow Andrew at...
You can follow me at Cultured Left Peg.
And you can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureFC, as I said. But this has been today's football news. My thanks to Andrew Pollard. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.